Mandy and I welcome you back to Walking with Jesus for September 16th. Up in smoke. Let's look at Philippians 4 verses 2 to 3. Philippians 4 verses 2 and 3 says, I plead with Euodia and I plead with Syntyche to agree with each other in the Lord. Yes, and I ask you, loyal yokefellow, help these women who have contended at my side in the cause of the gospel, along with Clement and the rest of my fellow workers, whose names are in the book of life. Up in smoke. A couple in Liverpool, England checked into a hotel to celebrate the man's birthday. They got into an argument and the woman locked herself in the bathroom crying. In anger, the man used his cigarette lighter to light a towel on fire, which triggered the fire alarm. There were 80 wedding guests in the hotel, and none of them appreciated being herded out into the street in the middle of the night in their bedclothes. Rightly does James say, human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. James 1 verse 20. Oh, how God's children need to avoid foolish arguments and damaged relationships. There are too many cases of Euodia and Syntyche in our churches. If there's a broken relationship in your life, ask God to give you the strength to forgive the person and the wisdom to know how to live at peace with them. So, it always would be really great to think, ooh, I was named in the Bible, right? And people will remember me forever. But these two, you don't want to be named like they are. Euodia and Syntyche. Apparently, these two women had some kind of argument or disagreement. I mean, it happens, right? In churches, people can't agree on should the carpet be, tan or blue? And with the coffee pot, should it percolate or should we have one of these new things? There's lots of things that people can disagree on. But Jesus is saying here, don't do that. Let's all get along. Because really, our enemy is not each other in the church. Our enemy is Satan out there and people out there who don't believe. And so we need to be united so we can go out and win those people over. Because if we're fighting in the church, we're not going to win anybody over. So let's go back and read a little bit. This great example is so funny. There's people there who are there for a wedding, but then this man and woman got into an argument. And so he uses a cigarette lighter to set a towel on fire. Okay, that's a little crazy and extreme to me. I've never quite been that mad that I've set something on fire, but we've all had times when we've gotten upset. But it would have been better for them to forgive each other and get along and celebrate his birthday so all the other guests could celebrate the wedding and not have to be drug outside. And then I love this verse in James where he says, human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. And we all do get angry. I've gotten angry. I know you've gotten angry. People have gotten angry at me. But what he's saying there, it's that it's not going to produce the righteousness that God desires. And, sometimes we do get upset about things. But one thing I've learned, it's good to quickly try to turn that around. Forgive the other person, even if they're the one that's wrong, because you want to just settle things quickly. Because haven't you seen, the longer we let things go, the more they fester and the bigger the problem becomes. So Dr. Jeremiah is saying, oh, how God's children need to avoid foolish arguments and damaged relationships. There are too many cases of Euodia and Syntyche in our churches. If there's a broken relationship in your life, ask God to give you the strength to forgive the person and wisdom to know how to live at peace with them. So hopefully if there's any friction in your church or in your family or in your lives, you can resolve that quickly. But sometimes we just don't see eye to eye and there is a lot of friction. Sometimes you just need to remove yourself from that situation or from that person for a while. And sometimes even just giving space, I have found, just helps things to die down. And then you can go back and you can work with that person again or have that person in your life again. So anyway, praying for you today if there's any friction in your life. And just remember that it's just so much easier just to forgive and just drop it. And there's a saying that I've learned recently called drop the sword. Like you don't always just want to be fighting with everybody, right? Sometimes just drop the sword and the situation will just dissipate and then you can just get on with that person or get on with your life, maybe a little separate from that person, but at least it doesn't blow up into some huge thing. So hope you have a good day today, forgiving others and not getting into arguments. And I'll see you back here tomorrow. And you can order your own copy of Walking with Jesus by Dr. David Jeremiah by going to davidjeremiah.org or by calling Turning Point at 877-998-0222. And I would love to answer any question that you may have about faith in Jesus. Let's get stronger this year in 2024. You can contact me through my website, nancyjoytoyou.com. And I hope you have a wonderful day growing your faith in Jesus.